Hello, Vicky. Hey, Leanne. Hello, Therese. Hey, Carol. Hi, Karen. Hey, Cheryl. Hello, Kiki. I think your Aunt Kiki's on. Hello, Sally. Hello, Vicky. Yes, happy Saturday. How is everybody? Does my screen look fuzzy? Does it look fuzzy to you guys? Let me check my settings. Oh, could be my settings. Hold on. Hello, Debadoo. Long time no see. Okay, there we go. A little better. Hello, Lakita. How's everybody doing? It is a hot one in Pennsylvania, y'all. Today we are going to play with liquid watercolor Colorburst, which were so kindly sent to me by the company. They are called Contact Crafts. They also, not only do they manufacture the Colorburst, but they also manufacture the peg stamps, and we'll play with those another day. But today I wanted to show you guys these Colorbursts. They sent me 6 sets of Colorbursts. Actually, they sent me 12 sets of Colorbursts. So I'm going to show you the ones that they sent me, and then if you are interested, my Amazon link, we'll put that in the chat for you guys. You can purchase them direct from Amazon, from my shop. Also, they sent me enough to do some giveaways. So stay tuned. I will tell you how at the end if you are interested in winning some of these. So let me grab my Amazon link for you guys. Debadoo says only 100 in Texas. It's almost that here. I just took Leah out and we did some softball. I think she's going to do softball this year. So she did really well with hitting and throwing today. So I'm pretty proud of her. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Circle Guru. Hey, Marva. Yes, I hope everybody is staying in. Hi, Frida. Hey, Missy. Hey, Mandy. Oh, Leanne's going to try the metal plate. Yeah. All right. So let's go through the names of the colors, and they basically sent me 2 different types. So if you're not familiar with Colorburst, they do have a powdered version, and they sent me the liquid version. And if you have if you have the powdered versions, these are just very highly concentrated pigments. And what they've done in the liquid version is they've added obviously a liquid, but it's still very highly concentrated in color in the pigment. And then they have these liquid metal ones, which basically have mica in them. So, oh, I'm sorry to hear, Beverly. Sending hugs, honey. So you guys have seen me use all the other, pixie powders, tonic. There's a lot of different brands out there that sell the powdered ones, but I've never tried the liquid ones. So I got to tell you, I've been doing a lot of experiments. I'm going to share them with you. And I think these are a little nicer because there's more control to them. The powdered ones are fun because you get a burst of color and then you just spray them. But these liquid ones have a little bit more control. So I'm going to talk about the color combinations. And again, if you're interested in shopping, I'm going to put my Amazon link. You guys can find them. I put them in Watercolors. So this one is called the Fresh Florals. And in the Fresh Florals, you're going to get, let me bring these into screen here. You're going to get peony. You're going to get, and these are the colors kind of here. Marigold. Naples yellow. Sea green, Prussian blue, and wisteria. So those are the Fresh Florals, and you can see how bright colors they are. And I'm going to put them in their box so that I don't mix them up. The next set is called Earth Tones. And in the Earth Tones, you're going to get a little bit more muted. So you're going to get Merlot, Burnt Orange, Yellow Ochre, Terra Verte, Indigo, and Sepia. So these are much darker in colors. The Colorburst Brights are going to be your standard kind of colors. So you're going to get Alzarian Crimson, Orange, Lemon Yellow, Phthalo Green, Ultramarine Blue, and Violet. And I think those are the original colors that most people have. And then we have Moroccan shades. And in Moroccan shades, you're getting a nice mixture here of Cadmium Scarlet, Gamboge, Cerulean Blue, Olive Green, Burnt Umber, and Black, Lamp Black. So you get a little bit darker tones with those. And then we have the liquid metals. And liquid metals are basically mica is added to them. So they're very, I can tell you, they are very concentrated, very shimmery with the mica. So you have liquid metal. This group is called heavy metals. So in heavy metals, you get iron oxide, copper, yellow gold, verdigris, pewter, and platinum. And then in shimmering gems, you're going to get metallic ruby, metallic coral, metallic emerald, metallic peridot, metallic turquoise, and metallic quartz. So we're going to play around with these. Now I am going to be using just standard watercolor paper. So I have cut up some cheapy Canson watercolor paper. This is 140 pound, and this is what I'll be working on. They're very much like Cosmic Shimmers, yes. Okay, so you guys have seen I've done a lot of videos with the powders. So this liquid format, they've already done some of the work and mixed it up. So the first thing that you can do with these, which is very easy. Hey, Leah, can you give me one of, Leah? Can you give me one of your palettes? Your little paint palettes? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Is you can use these to watercolor stamped images. So this is a Catherine Pooler stamp. This is called Butterfly in Bloom. I do have a CP link if you're interested in this. It came out last year. And what I did was I stamped this on the watercolor paper, and then I heat embossed it with my Wow Clear embossing powder. Okay, so you can see there's a little bit of gloss there. So one of the things you can do is treat it just like a watercolor. So Leah's going to bring me a little palette here, and then I'll be able to put some color down. And I'm just going to use a watercolor brush. Hello, Audrey. Perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a little palette here, and I'm just going to take some of the brights for this one. Is it this one? Okay, so this one's the brights. This would be the one I'd say I would start with if I was just starting out. You can definitely mix your colors up. But it's already a highly concentrated watercolor. You don't need a lot. You don't need to mix anything. With the powders, you do have to add your own water. You can add more water if you wanted to dilute these a little bit. Now, a lot of companies have come out with Colorburst. I know Catherine Pooler had them a while back. I know Ken Oliver had them a while back. So they're all the same. I think there's just different color combinations. But they had them in powder and they had them in liquid. So we have violet, ultramarine blue, phthalo green, lemon yellow, orange, and Alzerian crimson. That's in the Brights package. And so this is really simple, guys. I'm just going to take a water brush and I'm just going to put some liquid down. And I'm just going to grab some of that and just color in with it, just like I would with any other watercolor. Now, if you want it to be more concentrated, you go direct to paper, you add more. If you want it to be darker, you can just layer this. If you want it to be lighter, you would add more water to it. I need to grab a paper towel. I thought I had a paper towel. Here it is. You can mix them, make your own color combinations. And the regular watercolor ones do not have any shimmer in them, so this is just straight pigment color. Hi, Carly. How are you feeling? Okay, that's one side, and then maybe this side. I'm gonna wet this a little bit. And you can see how it travels just like any other watercolor does. It wicks and blooms. And again, the more water you have, the lighter the color will be. The less water you have, the more concentrated the color will be. Okay, I'm just going to take the heat tool to this. Melissa, I do have one that's like Stamping 101, but I'll have to find it. Yeah. So I'm going to add a little bit more blue to this, because we lost a little bit over here. And you can see as I add that blue, it darkens it. It's a little more concentrated. So you can layer very easily. Okay, so So that one's really easy. First technique is just use them like a regular watercolor and color in your stamped images. Hi, Bonnie. Just you just watercolor, real simple. You just heat emboss and use it as a watercolor. Very easy to do, very simple to do. Just have a paintbrush with some water or a water brush, either one. And you can see how bright and vibrant and colorful they are. Okay, so that's the first idea I thought of, is just using them as a watercolor. The next idea I thought of, I'm going to try to move some of this out of the way without spilling anything, is backgrounds. So I'm going to show you guys some backgrounds I made, and I'll show you how to duplicate them. Now, I did use the brand new Farmland stamp from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. So this one, I just used some red, oranges, and yellows and just spread them across with a watercolor brush and then went back and stamped them in. So very easy. And then let me show you doing the same colors but using the metallics, the liquid metals. You can see when I tilt it all of that mica and shimmer that's in there. Can you guys see that? Tons of color and shimmer. Okay. And then the last one is a very easy one, and this is just a cloud sky. This is super easy to do. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Really easy. And I learned that from my friend Lisa Christensen. She has a watercoloring YouTube channel. Now on this paper there's a smooth side and there is a rough side. We're going to use the smooth side. Okay, and I'm going to use my little spray box, which is just a packaging box with paper towels in it. And what I'm going to do here is spray it with water. Now you can use your distress sprayer. I did buy this one that Simon recommends. I'm just getting used to it. It does put a lot of water down, but you know, any kind of spray bottle. Use a hairspray bottle if you have an old one. All right, so I'm going to spray on the smooth side because I want to stamp on this. If you're not going to stamp on it, you can use either side, but I want the smooth side. And I'm just going to spray some water on this. Okay, we want it pretty saturated, just like we would do with the powdered ones. And I think for this one, let me show you how I did that blue sky background because that was really easy to do. I'm going to grab the cerulean blue out of the Moroccan shades. And this is so simple, you guys. All I do is just put a couple of drops down, and you can see how it starts to travel and wick away right away. And then I'm going to just move that around with my wet brush. Okay. And all we're going to do here is add more water to it. We want this nice and saturated. Then you're going to take a paper towel and you're going to bunch it up. You don't want this to be pretty. You want it to be really kind of bunched up. And you're going to move that color around. Now again, if you want it more concentrated, then you would leave it. If you want it lighter, then you would just keep moving it around. Okay. And if you want to, you can add more water to it. It will reactivate those colors because again, they're watercolors, so they're water activated. And you can just continue to blot that and make it lighter, or if you want to add more color, you go in and you add more color. It's very, very simple, but this is a very natural, organic way to get clouds. Okay, and again, take my heat tool. Hi, Carol. The other advantage I like to these liquid watercolors is that there's not a lot of granulation in them. We like the other color bursts because they're granulated and you can see the little spots of color. Well, this is, it's already mixed up for you guys. So there's not a lot of granulation. There's a little bit there. And again, if you have any harsh, anything like that, you just add water to it. And again, go back and dry it. But then you just stamp one of your silhouette stamps on there and you have this very natural looking sky cloud background. Okay, so using it to make backgrounds is another option. I'm going to show you guys how I did this one. Same exact technique. Just going to add a lot of water. Oh, I want the smooth side. Okay, and then I'm going to add in some of my, we're going to stay with these Moroccan colors. We're going to do cadmium scarlet, a little bit of that. Gamboge. And because it's already mixed up and liquefied, I don't have to do anything. Just take a little bit of a paintbrush and move the colors around, add a little more water if I want to. And you guys know, I am no artist. I just play. But wait till you see how beautiful this is going to come out. Okay, once I have my color down, I'm just going to add more water to it. These do dry back a little bit. The color is very concentrated when it goes down, but when it dries, it does dry back a little bit. If you don't like it, you add more water and you lift it. If you want it to be darker, you add more color. So you really can't mess it up. It's beautiful all the way. So like I feel like I need some more yellow in there. You can see how that yellow and the red mix and made that more of an orange. Oops, bumped the camera. Jim, yes, if you have a lot of water, they will move with the heat tool, okay? So you can see here, this one was done with the brights and this one was done with the Moroccan. Same technique. I can stamp the farmland stamp on here and we'll have this red, orange, yellow sky. Same exact technique, just changing up the colors a little bit, okay? So the second way is to use it as backgrounds, and also you could do ink smushing with it as well. In fact, ink smushing, and I'll show you another technique along with the ink smushing. Let me move this out of the way. So I'm going to do this direct on my craft mat here, and I'm going to use some of the metallics. You want to shake these up because there is mica in them. Yeah, more water, the more it's going to move, correct. The regular watercolor ones don't have any sparkle, but you guys are going to see how much these liquid metals have. They have a lot. A lot. And I'm going to mix the two groups here a little bit. So this one's pewter. And I'm going to put a little bit of water down on my craft mat here. You can already see that mica. And this one is metallic quartz, which is like a dark purple. That's like a grayish. And metallic turquoise. Oh, that one's really runny. Okay. Then I'm just going to take my brush and kind of swirl through there. And this is where you can do your smushing. Just going to clean my brush off there, okay? You can add more water if you want. And then just take your watercolor paper. And it will pick up all of that mica and all of that color. You can make some really cool backgrounds with this. Now, obviously, I could keep smushing and layering and adding more colors and drying it so you guys get the idea. But when this dries, can you guys see all of that beautiful mica coming through? So pretty. This would be cool, like a little mermaid background. Okay, and then cleanup is easy. You just spray some water down and wipe it out. You could probably take another piece of watercolor paper. Don't tell T I just cleaned this up with a paper towel. She'll be mad at me. Use another piece of watercolor paper and clean that up. Okay, so ink smushing, backgrounds. You could do the same method I did with the brush. This is a one that I did with the micas until I saw how concentrated the micas were. So I like doing the smushing on there. But it is sparkly and highly concentrated on the smushed parts there. See that? Okay, so that's another way. All right, let's talk about making sprays. Again, these are highly concentrated. So I have these spray bottles. I just have some water in here. And I want to make some spray backgrounds, okay? I'm not going to use the micas. I'm just going to use the regular watercolors here. And I really want some dark, deep blues. Here we go. We're going to use Prussian blue. So you can make your own sprays because this is already concentrated. You can see immediately how that liquid starts to go in. You can mix this. The more you add, the darker the color is going to be. Remember, this is already a watercolor. So let's see how this looks when we spray it out. There's no micas or anything in here, so I don't need to worry about it getting clogged. That Prussian blue was out of the Fresh Florals collection. So let's see how this looks when we spray it. Hello, Crafty Cat. You can see that's kind of a grayish blue. If I wanted to make it a brighter blue, I can add some different colors of blue. I'm going to add some of that cerulean blue I used earlier. Take a couple sprays for that to change color. All right, there we go. So now you can see, now I have a lighter blue with a little bit darker undertone. So I can make my sprays, and sprays are great because if you have stencils, you might want to spray through your stencils, or again, making pretty backgrounds with them. So because I mix those two colors with water, it's a little more diluted, but you can see how much different that blue is. It still makes a beautiful color for a sky. And because it's sprayed on, it's a little more even in color. So do that. Now I really want to make this a dark blue. So I'm going to keep adding some blues here. I'm going to add some ultramarine blue. Let's see how bright blue we can get this. Add about 5 drops of that. And I'm just playing and mixing and being a mad scientist here. Let's see what other blues do we have. I think those are all the bright blues. I'm going to add a little bit more of that cerulean blue. Okay, now we have a much brighter, darker blue. Okay, so earlier I made some samples. Here I took a stencil. This stencil is from TCW. It's called Slimline Sea Turtle Family. I did use pixie spray on it. Slimline Sea Turtle Family from TCW. You can pick this up on scrapbook.com. I do have a scrapbook.com link. And I did the background with some greens. So I took a lot of different color greens, like I already showed you guys on how to do the background. And then I went in with some, here's the 2 things I did. I took some Shimmery Goodness, and I actually tinted the Shimmery Goodness with some of the colors. And I got this really light green with the Shimmery Goodness, which was cool. But I wanted to add a little more dimension, so I did go in and add some Terra Verde stencil butter. So it's a combination of the 2 of those through the stencil. But I have this green background. I have these green, fun, shimmery turtles. But I want this to be more blue, right? So now I have this spray. So I can now spray this background, and I have this blue. And what's going to happen is the green underneath is going to activate again. It is water activated. It's a watercolor. See that green activating? So I can kind of mix these and get this bluish green background. And again, I can add heat tool to dry that a little bit. So now I can either do direct to paper or I can do the sprays. I can mix and match. Okay, so you can see now how that green background mixed with the blue, it rehydrated, and I kind of have this greenish teal water background now. So it's just very pretty, and now my turtles really pop. And again, if you're interested in any of that shimmery goodness or stencil butter, I just put my scrapbook.com link on there. And we have this texture with the paste, but we have this beautiful kind of watercolor background. Okay, so we've done direct watercolor on stamped images. We've done backgrounds. We've done ink smushing, making sprays. Let's talk about, coloring Shimmering Bliss. And I have another example here for you guys. Actually, I think I need my box. We're going to leave that out. Okay. So once again, I took another TCW stencil. This one is called Slimline Patchwork Feather. Now you can't see it there because I made a beautiful background, and I did use the liquid metals, and I just did some fall colors there. And I put clear transfer gel duo, deco foil duo. Now we can leave this clear and we can spray over it just like we did with the turtles, and the clear will come through. Or we can go direct on there if we want to make it a little darker. But I wanted to show you what else we can do here is you can leave it that way. We can ink blend over it. Because once that paste is on top of it, those are locked in. So you can go back in with some darker colors here. I'm going to grab my little palette here again. And I'm going to grab some of these liquid metals. And we're going to mix it up, actually. We're going to add some of that. Where's that burnt umber? Sepia. This is what I wanted. So I'm going to take some of this sepia. And I can basically do a wash. So I'm going to grab a regular paintbrush and some water. And a fresh paper towel. just going to get a regular paintbrush with some water, and I'm going to go into that sepia, which is it's a darker color. And you'll see as I do that wash how it layers, but our stenciled leaf, or sorry, feather stays where it's visible, right? So we have those colors underneath. We're layering this sepia on top. Just adding a little bit of water to my brush. All right. And I'm going to take the heat tool and dry this and clean it up a little bit. Let me move this around a little bit up here. Because again, this was the liquid metals underneath, so they do want to reactivate. They do want to move. By putting some of that sepia in there, it gives us more of a vintage kind of look. And you can add as much or as little as you want. You could have done black too if you really wanted to darken it up. But those colors that are trapped underneath the Deco Foil Duo Gel, they're not going to move. They are trapped underneath there. They're not going to move. We're going to take the heat tool and dry this a little bit. Now I want this a little darker, so I am going to do another wash of color. Let me see if I can. Okay, here is a burnt umber. This is a darker brown. And I'm actually going to bring in a little bit of black with this. So I'm going to do quite a bit of the burnt umber. I'm going to add a little bit of the black. I really want this to be dark so that our colors underneath can pop. Oh, there we go. Now you guys can see it. Now I did this about an hour ago, so this has been drying. All right, that's more the look I was going for. Okay, now we're going to move all of this. just take my paper towel and wipe this up. So, Leanne, yeah, these are already watered down for you. They're highly concentrated pigment watercolors. Instead of being in powder form, they're in liquid form, which I think gives you a little bit more control, and you don't have that crystallization because it's already been diluted for you. I'm just going to wipe down the top of this now. You can certainly leave it like this. This looks very pretty. You can see those metallic colors underneath the paste. You want to be careful that you don't overheat your paste like I did there. My paste is lifting. Well, looks like we're going to get another method out of this because heating it is actually causing it to lift. What I wanted to show you guys is at this point you can then take any leftover excess foil that you have or gilding flakes, and you can actually foil over this. The foil will stick to the Duo Gel, and all you got to do is just burnish it a little bit. So not only will we have these beautiful colors underneath, but the Duo Gel sticks to the foil. Now, because I've heat this and wet this so many times, my gel is starting to lift. So here, you can see my gel lifted. I gotta be careful there. I guess what I could do is remove the gel, but then it's just white underneath. That's kind of boring. So just be careful when you're doing this. I think I added way too much water. The Duo Gel sticks once it's dry. So we have a nice, pretty mixed media project here with doing it through a stencil. Those beautiful colors come through, and then by adding the foil to it, we have an additional layer on there. Very pretty, right? And you don't have to foil the whole thing. We just want it to stick. And you can see all of the shimmer, all the way around it is shimmer. You guys see that? Now for this, where I kind of messed it up, I could probably go back in and take a paintbrush and fix that. A very fine, fine, fine line. Do I even have a paintbrush that little? Oh, I'm not gonna mess with it. Okay. So yeah, I have 6 sets to give away. I am going to have to say US only because, again, of shipping. Plus, these are liquid. I don't want to ship these overseas. But you can purchase them from Amazon. I did link my Amazon shop for you guys. These are liquid Colorburst watercolors. So you can get them in powder form. Everything I did was in liquid form, which makes it a little more easier to control. You don't have to worry about the granulation. You can still mix and match them. They still have 4, I have been sent 4 different color combos of the liquid watercolors. There's 6 in each one. They come nicely packaged, by the way, in these boxes, and they're packed in tissue paper. And then there's 2 of the metallic sets. Okay, and so let me just recap some of the things that I have shown you guys today. And if you have these, get them out and play with them. If you have the powdered ones, get them out and play with them. But I do like the liquid ones because, again, I think there was definitely more control with the liquid ones. So what are the different ways I showed you guys you can play with them? So the first way was if you just take them direct to paper and color them in. So this is a very easy way. They are watercolors. They're highly concentrated pigment colors. You just put them on a little palette, take a little watercolor brush, and color them in. Very pretty. And these were the brights. Okay. The second way that I showed you guys was just direct to paper making backgrounds. So you can make these very easy cloud backgrounds with them. You can take your water brush and spread it out a little more And you can see these are the difference between the brights and the Moroccans. A little bit more neutral, darker colors. Now all I have to do is stamp this. That's all I got to do is stamp, and I'm done with this. Okay. I showed you guys how to do ink smushing. Oh, here's another one where I use the brush and spread around. This was the metals. Okay. Ink smushing, which gives you a beautiful look. You can layer it, and you still, this one I did with the metals, the liquid metals. So it gave us that beautiful liquid metal background. But ink smushing, you could do that. I showed you guys how to make a spray. So again, it's already highly concentrated. So I just added a few drops of color, and I kept adding different colors until it got what I want. So I started off with this kind of lighter blue. And then as I added more blues and mixed the colors together, I got this kind of tealish blue. In fact, I can go in now and kind of do like an ombre and add to this. And if you have stencils, let me show you guys what stencil do I have that I can use here. And this is where the stencils come in handy, because a lot of you guys have stencils and you want to make sprays. You can do that. Hi, Terry. I don't have any pixie spray on this, so I'll have to be gentle and quick. I would recommend pixie spray if you're going to. Let me do that. I'm going to give that about 30 seconds to a minute to dry. Hi, Susie. Yeah, they have enough mica. Do not add any extra mica. I'll show you how much mica is in that one. Okay, let's see here. Now my paper towels are wet, so it doesn't really want to stick, but so we make our own sprays. We can use that through the stencil. Look how pretty that is. You could certainly add mica if you wanted to, but those liquid metals have a ton in there. So by making sprays, you can use those through stencils as well, or just spray your background. I mean, let me show you guys how much mica's in here. Can you guys see that? There's a lot of mica in there. So making sprays you can use through stencils, okay? And then I showed just layering it. So by layering it on this one, I had some green underneath that I had painted on when I did this, and then I colored my Shimmering Bliss with it. So my Shimmering Bliss came out to this light green color, and then I mixed in down here some stencil butter. But look at how my green, how pretty that is. It's Shimmering Bliss, so it's got a nice tint of pearl to it, mixed in with the paste. And then the plain color I had down here, I used my sprays, mixed those in, it reactivated it, so I have this kind of tealish green blue water. So you can layer them, you can mix them with other media. And then on this one, I did the same thing. I had stenciled this underneath, and there was some greens and blues and oranges and red under there. Sorry, greens, red, oranges, fall colors under there. And then I used some Deco Foil Duo Gel, put that on top, let it kind of coat everything. And then I went in with the brown and covered it all up. And you can see that metallic. Look here. Look at all of that shimmer. See all that shimmer came out? And then I just went in with a scrap piece of foil and it stuck to the duo gel. So you can layer it, you can paint with it, you can do ink smushing with it, you can do backgrounds with it, and it's water reactive. So if you don't like the way it looks, go in with water, lift that color. If you want it to be darker, just add more color. It's very concentrated and a lot of fun to play with. So definitely recommend trying these out. If you have the powdered ones, they're very similar to the powdered ones, but I think you have more control with these because it's already in a liquid format. You get less of that. I mean, you can see on all of these, there's no granulation. On the powdered ones, there's granulation, which is cool if that's the effect you're looking for. But if you're looking for a plain background, you'll see there's no granulation in these, you guys. Very, very little. The only granulation I got was on this one. And that's it. So on the powdered ones, you're always going to have that granulation. So on this one, very, very little granulation. Now, again, I want to thank Colorburst for sending this out to me. They said go ahead and use the Amazon link. The company also sent 6 extras for me to give away. So if you would like to win a set of these, comment below which technique, after we're done, after the live, comment below which technique you thought was the coolest. Was it watercoloring with them? Was it ink smushing? Was it backgrounds? Was it making sprays? Was it layering it through stencils? Was it coloring stencil paste? So many different ways I showed you guys you can utilize these. I want to know in the comments below which one you like the best. Not right now, comment after. And give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'm very close to 26,000 subscribers. My friend T at Not Afraid of Color is almost to 1,500, so make sure you subscribe to her as well. And my friend Tracy is almost to 3,000, and she is giving away a mini mink on her channel. And I will put all the links for everything down below. Everything else that I used, I will link for you guys. You can pick up pretty much everything else on scrapbook.com. And if you have any questions, post it down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.